Let me see if I got this right. Carlee Smoking Nuts fakes a kid being on the side of the road, fakes being kidnapped, disappears for 2 days, pops back up at her parents' house. The parents want privacy for their daughter. They go on national TV to not give privacy to their daughter. They apparently throw a party or have a get-together for Carlee and her 26th birthday. They lied to the entire neighborhood and community. Crime Stoppers, as to my understanding, still has not given all that money back to people who donated, which, side note, why are you donating to a missing person? Why not just go outside and look for that missing person? And don't tell me, well, I'm in another state. How can I possibly? You tweet to get the word out like you would do anything else. You would not throw money at a random spot thinking you saved the day. It's confirmed she lied about a toddler being on the side of the road and being kidnapped, which completely was a shocker to everybody who didn't see that early traffic cam footage, which debunked everything that woman said. And somewhere in between that, an attorney is surprised that she hasn't been charged with anything.
Eric Guster spent years as a criminal defense attorney. He says, like the rest of the country, he was pulled into the Carlee Russell case. He says while police didn't come out and say it at the press conference, the message was clear.
She said she was kidnapped and the kidnapping didn't happen. Our citizens are safe. There's not a kidnapper out there. So they use every almost synonym for lie except saying she lied.
He says the search for Carlee wasted the time and money of law enforcement and concerned community members. The father of murder victim Anaya Blanchard wrote about it on his Facebook page, saying his wounds had been reopened and it wasn't okay to bring his family into the search.
Imagine going and searching for someone and they're off doing something else and they're never in danger. And you're thinking about saving this person's daughter and yours was not saved. Beyond angry, super livid, that would be me.
Guster says he worries this case could affect future missing persons cases.
It's going to be much more difficult for African-American women to be believed, and it may actually decrease the number of actual reports of things because people are already afraid that they won't be believed.
He says right now Carlee needs an attorney to advise her on how to respond to police.
If I was Carlee's attorney, I would speak for her. I would not allow her to speak to the police because anything she says can and will be used against her. I would speak for her. I would go to the mayor. I would go to the police chief and figure out if there's something we could do. That's what I would do.
And then after that, her own attorney is being interviewed or does questions with the police and is saying he expects charges.
Derzis was asked multiple times during the press conference if Carlee Russell would be charged, and again yesterday, her attorney says he now expects her to.
It's a great meeting, a short meeting, just to try to identify some things about where we go from here, responsibilities that we need to take care of. But it was a great meeting, and I want to commend the Hoover Police Department and the Chief of Police for their action and how they have handled everything. So hopefully we can get to the end game, as they say, of this particular thing.
And how is Carlee?
She's doing better, but still, she's still dealing with some things.
Which leads to today, where the police are saying, yeah, we're looking to charge her with 2 misdemeanors, both of which could combine to equal up to a year. And do I think she's going to get a year? No. I think she's going to have to pay a fine or probably get some community service. Because all in all, that's just the way I see how this is going to play out. But I will still laugh knowing full well that I'm undefeated in just sitting and waiting. Because all details will come up, evidence will creep its way out, the public will see that evidence and start to understand and piece things together. All we're going to wait for at that point is confirmation. Do I feel bad for this woman? No. Mental health will not be a good excuse, because if it is, guess what? We got a whole bunch of school shooters we got to excuse for their mental health problems, and I promise you, people don't allow that to be an excuse. I don't feel bad for her because she wasted people's time. She wasted the police time. She wasted honest, hardworking people's time who dedicated time to trying to find her while she's in the middle of the woods masturbating with Cheez-Its in her hand. She is dirty.
The police chief went and talked to her family and said, hey, I have everything. I have everything. Do you still want to go forward with this? And they stood in that lie for a week.
Former criminal defense attorney Eric Guster calls the new information from Hoover Police the beginning of the end, especially after they gave a timeline of Carlee's actions before she disappeared.
It was frustrating that it took a week to get here, because this should have been done last Monday or Tuesday. And if it was done Monday or Tuesday, we wouldn't be talking about it now. A lot of people would have probably forgotten her name by Thursday or Friday.
Russell's neighbor Steve Parker says even though she made it all up, he doesn't regret supporting her family during the difficult time.
And I'm really glad the community rallied around. We as a community here were, very supportive of the Russells and would do it again.
But he says Carlee has to live with the decision she made.
I think there should be consequences for anything when something like that happens. So, we'll see how that plays out.
And finally, for the people in the back who desperately want the attention that they're never gonna get anywhere else except here, subscribe to the channel so that I can appease your weird obsessions. You understand that when you dedicate time to a missing person and then you get mad when people question that missing person's story and then it comes out that this missing person is a liar, you should not be turning around and saying, oh well, now go focus on the real victims, because you clearly don't care about those real victims. You only care about this because there's some sensationalized thing on Twitter, which was made sensationalized by people on Twitter because the story was absolutely wild and it made no sense. Oh, but the police, they don't care about looking for people. Apparently they must, because they look for this person. It took away from all the people who are actually missing. That's what you should be saying. This woman wasted people's time, effort, and prayers on her nonsense, while there are people who are actually missing, whether they be white, black, boy, girl, gay, straight, trans, they missing. And people who dedicate a lot of time to trying to find those people had to stop, pump the brakes, and care about someone who is faking all that.
Days later.
This now raising concern about whether Russell's fabricated story will hurt the situations of others like Alexis Ware. Ashley Jones reports.
Yes, the Ware family says that Carlee Russell should serve jail time for wasting resources over a fake missing persons case. Meanwhile, the family says they wish there were more resources put towards finding Alexis Ware, an upstate mother of two who was reported missing over a year ago.
So I'm still angry at the situation.
That's how the brother of missing mother of two, Alexis Ware, is responding to the fake kidnapping of Alabama nursing student Carlee Russell.
Russell to actually do this, and all these resources, all this money, all this time, all this energy that not only did the local law enforcement, FBI, the community put in, it pissed me off, to be completely honest, yes.
That anger boils over as the case for Ware's sister remains open. Alexis Ware was last seen back in January of 2022 after dropping off her two children with their father at a gas station in Anderson County. Police later found her car with all of her belongings, but there was no sign of Alexis. Since then, the FBI has taken over the case, but the family has continued to look for answers on their own.
Mother, our dad, and most important, her kids are the most affected by this. It has been a challenge for all of us to try to navigate and still try to reach out to local media news stations, national media stations, even to Anderson County Sheriff Department to get some type of answer.
And while that quest for answers continues, Ware felt that Russell's case took the attention off of his sister.
Yes, it does take attention away from other cases because that's what we would consider like a high priority case. Like it's happening now and a life could potentially be in danger.
Sergeant Vicki Rains with the Victim Service Unit for the Richland County Sheriff's Department says the initial details of Russell's disappearance made it a high priority case. She says that a lot of resources go into investigating any missing persons case.
We go out, the whole Victim Services Unit team goes out. They're all Region 8. All those deputies are out. We called the dogs in. Typically, we would have had the drone out and air support like the plane or helicopter.
And law enforcement will work around the clock to locate that missing person. But Ware says there has been positive impacts of Russell's case.
But when Carlee Russell did go missing, and it came to be a hoax the entire time, a lot of people did draw back attention to my sister's case. Like, this is the case we should be focused on. We have a black missing female that's actually missing in real life.
Unfortunately, Ware's brother says there have been no new updates to his sister's case. Following their visit to Columbia, his family is currently waiting to hear back from the Attorney General on whether their office will take over this case.
So, two things could be true. We can dedicate more time to looking for people who are actually missing, and criticize a dumbass who just wanted some attention. It's easy as long as you're able to admit you're somebody who was really upset when people were asking a simple question, where's the fucking baby, when this bitch just randomly popped back up at her parents' house. And the only thing left for me to honestly say is Cheez-Its are nasty. I don't care how y'all feel about them. They're nasty. They're not really cheesy. I can understand if somebody fakes being kidnapped and they use, I don't know, lime hot Cheetos. Those are pretty good. Those are the best. Pringles, barbecue flavored, absolutely divine. Pizza flavored Pringles, like, come on now, let's be honest with ourselves. It's important to understand which snacks are necessary in this world for faking being kidnapped, and Cheez-Its on the bottom tier of that list. But you can make a difference in this world. You could give me your money, since apparently a few of you suckers like giving your money out to anything and thinking the internet is gonna save you. You could keep me off the streets by buying me a bunch of Cheez-Its. Teach me a lesson. Link in the description, pin comment, all these beautiful things. Help me get away from gangs and guns by feeding me nothing but Cheez-Its all day. And to my she set the black people back crowd, no she didn't. Stop lumping everybody else with some pointless bitch who doing something obviously for attention. We can criticize and laugh at one person and still take the time to hear about people who have gone missing and actually care that they have gone missing. Don't lump one bad apple with the rest of the tree and you will be able to succeed in life laughing at people who deserve it. And that's all I got. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.